Welcome to an overview of iGo Figure, Part 2, Money. Money is the easy part because the iGo Figure system does almost everything for you. Let's take a look. At the end of most days, you will come over here to Money Management and click on the Money Management wizard. This will show you a list of all sales, payments, and dues ready to be processed. Most days, you will probably just select all and click Next, Next, Done. This walks you through a wizard-based system that will process all of your transactions. And your 2 cash transactions will have a deposit ticket printed for them. Your 2 credit cards will be electronically charged over your internet connection, and so will both of the electronic funds transfers. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, I had no idea that iGo Figure could electronically charge credit cards directly over my internet connection, or do the same for EFTs or electronic funds transfers, or if you'd just like to learn about how this valuable service can save you time and money, just send us an email at training@igofigure.com and put payment info as the subject line. We'll know exactly what you're talking about and we will send you the information. Now let's take a look at iGo Figure's powerful integrated point of sale system. This is accessed through button 7, Payments and Product Sales, on the same menu. I can select the name of a member who's making a purchase, or I can click here on Non-Member Sale. This brings up what will hopefully be a very familiar store and shopping cart format to your screen. When you click on items from the store, they pop into the shopping cart. You can increase the quantity by repeatedly clicking on the buttons, by clicking the quantity number right here and just typing in the number, or beginning in version 3.8 by using the barcode scanner to scan a UPC barcode on the inventory itself. I can also click here on a price in order to change the price or apply a discount. When I click on Next, I move to the next step, which is the purchase review. I will review to make sure everything's okay. I will click back if I need to make any changes, and I can also type some additional comments here, which are printed on the receipt that the member receives and also saved as part of their permanent payment history. On the next screen, I get an option for checkout. This is where I specify how the member paid and select a salesperson. An item can be split among several payment methods. For example, of this $146.52 that's due, I can say Evelyn gave me cash, $50. The system immediately tells me there's $96.52 left, so I can say she also wrote me a check for $96.52. I could click here on Accounts on File in order to open up any of the financial accounts Evelyn already has on file, like her bank account or her credit card. And I could also click here on Customer Account to put it on her account. I can charge part or all of a payment on the customer account. When I click on Next, it brings me to the Transaction Complete screen, and I can click here on Print in order to print her an invoice or receipt. Let's take a closer look at the customer account. Let's say that a member wants to make a purchase costing $8 and she only has a $10 bill and I don't have change. I could just ring up here a $8 miscellaneous purchase for whatever I like, and I can say that Nikki gave me cash $10. The system, when I click Next, then says, how would you like to handle the $2 change? Give it in cash, and assuming I don't have it, I would just apply the balance to the customer account. When I come back to Nikki's record, I will see that sure enough she has a positive $2 customer account balance. And if I click on the $2 itself, it shows me a ledger which helps me to understand how it arrived at $2. When a member has a positive customer account balance on file, it can be maintained. It can be refunded to the customer in cash, just use the Refunds button from the main menu, or it can be applied towards any future dues or purchase. Let's take a look at how to do that. Here I am at Nikki's checkout screen for a $35 purchase. I will simply say that she paid cash $33 and that she put $2 on her customer account. This purchase is now paid in full, and if I come back to Nikki's record, I will see her account balance has indeed gone down to 0. And if I click on the 0, the ledger is still there. She had a positive $2, then a negative $2, so she now has $0 on her customer account. Let's take a look at how the customer account can be used when a member does not have enough money. Let's take a look at Faith. Faith has $0 in her customer account right now. Let's say that she is purchasing something that costs $20, but she only has $15. So I will say that she paid cash $15. and the system is telling me she still owes $5. I can't click next right now. The system will tell me that the amount paid is less than the amount due. So quite simply, I open up her customer account as a payment method and say I'm putting $5 on her account. Look at what happens when I click next. The system says enter a date that the negative $5 customer account balance will be due. So let's say that I give her 1 week from today to pay. The beauty of this is that she can now have negative $5 customer account balance, but it's not due for a week. So she's not in collections for a week. Her account is in good standing. She can continue to scan in, and if I'm using door access, she can continue to enter the facility. But if this date arrives and her customer account balance is still negative, even by a single penny, she will automatically go into collection status on that date. Here's a hot tip for you. In order to find out every negative customer account balance, go over here to Money Management and use the third option down, Balances Due and Collections. You can sort this list in order by any column heading. If I sort it by due date, let's say today is the 24th of March. I immediately know that this person and all the people before him are in collection status, whereas this person and all the people after it are not yet in collection status. I can also sort in order by name so I can see all the people who owe me money. I can click on account balance so I can see all the debts owed to me in order from largest to smallest or smallest to largest. And I can also click here on Pay Now to resolve any individual item. It simply takes me to the Payments and Product Sales section to pay off the customer account. Let's take a look at paying off a customer account. If you will remember, Faith had a negative $5 customer account balance because she didn't have enough money to pay a $20 debt. Let's say I want to pay off this amount now. I will click on Customer Account. Be sure you click on the button itself. Again, if I click on the $5, I see her ledger. If I click on the button, the system says, please enter an amount to deposit to the customer account, $5. I click on OK. I go forward to the checkout screen. Let's say she wrote me a check for $5 because she still didn't have $5, and that's okay. I accept it. That's all that I need to do. Her account balance is paid in full. You see, if I come back here to Faith, she has $0 on the customer account, and if I click on it, I will see the debit, the credit, and the fact that she now has $0. Here's another hot tip for you. It's sometimes useful to see customer account balances in an aging report. In other words, which ones are current, which ones are 30 to 60 days old, which are 60 to 90, and so forth. You can get this report by going to the Reports menu, button 12, and selecting Management Reports and Customer Account Balances. Confirm the date, and you will see your report. Another advantage of this report is that it shows all non-zero balances, not just negative balances. So you'll see, for example, that Bill has $10 in his customer account. And that's current. It hasn't been on there for more than 30 days, or it would appear in this column. iGo Figure also allows for partial payments on the customer account. As you can see, this member owes $20. Let's say they would like to make a partial payment of $5. Click on the customer account button itself, not on the number, and the system will ask you the amount to be deposited, $5. Go through the Payments and Product Sales screen, and let's say that this person paid $5 in cash. When I click Next, the system says, please enter the date that the new customer account balance, negative 15, will be due. I can keep the same date, or I can give them slightly more time. If I come back to this person's record, you will see that they now have negative $15, and again, here you will see a ledger. A customer may make as many partial payments as they wish until their balance returns to zero. If you need to indicate that a payment has been failed or dishonored, for example, a check is returned to you by your bank stamped insufficient funds, use button number 9, Collections, from the main menu. Say that you wish to enter a new collections item and search for the item by the amount and the date. iGo Figure will show you a list of all matching payments. Let's say it's Connie's check which has been returned. I click here on Select, and the system will then show me a visual confirmation of the member. It will show me every single previous time that she's been in collections, and then it will ask me information. For example, what was the reason for the return check? Insufficient funds. Do I wish to apply any type of a collections fee? Let's say yes I do, $20. And then it will again ask me to confirm the date that the negative customer account balance is due. And again, if I set it as today or any previous date, she will be in collections. If I set it as any future date, she will have a negative customer account balance but not yet be in collections. Refunds are easily handled by clicking on the Refunds button, button 8 from the main menu, and selecting the name of the member receiving a refund. You will see every single transaction with this member. In order to refund one, simply select it from the list and click Next. You can then decide by line item and by quantity exactly what is to be refunded. This member purchased 2 calcium supplements, 3 multivitamins, and 4 protein shakes. If they wanted a refund on one of the 2 calcium supplements and all 3 of the multivitamins but none of the protein shakes, I would indicate this quite as simply as this and then click on Next. The system allows me to give a refund by cash, by check, or to apply it to the customer account. And if the payment had been made by credit card, the refund would automatically be going back to the credit card. Finally, let's take a look at how iGo Figure handles a payment or renewal on a prepaid membership, one that does not automatically pop up in money management because the member does not have a payment method on file. They come in once per month or once every 6 months or every year, depending on how much they've prepaid for. You handle that quite simply through button 7, Payments and Product Sales, and then select the member's name. Say that you wish to make a payment on one of their memberships and indicate which one of the memberships. iGo Figure will then show you the last payment date that you received from them a payment on this membership, the amount of that payment, and the current contract end date. You then simply put in the amount that is currently being charged as well as the new contract end date. So let's say they now have until January and they're good to go. This amount appears in the shopping cart in Payments and Product Sales, and you simply process it through as you would any other payment. And that's all that there is to money in the iGo Figure system.